Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the North American Star League season number 4. We're over here in Game 5, where Violet is up 3-1 over his opponent, Sortof. It's only one more game for him to win to advance to the NASL Grand Finals, the finals of the Grand Finals.
And you know, when we were seeing Hero versus Pult, it was 3-1, and we saw Pult deliver 2 more incredible games. Does Sortof have it in him, or has Violet already psychologically thwarted him? We're going to head into Game 5 right now. It's on Entombed Valley with close positions. It's the last match of the night, or will it be?
Will
it's
it be?
all up to Sortof, guys. Let's head into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the bottom left-hand corner, he's currently down 1-3. He is from Western Wolves. It is Sortof.
And in the top left, he always appears to be a beast, and no matter what the occasion or what the matchup, can he get to a back-to-back major tournament finals, hot off the heels of a second-place IPL 5. It's time to cheer for Azubu's Violet.
Sean, I think Entombed Valley is going to be a fantastic map for Violet. I feel like the third position is just wonky. It's not standard. It's not like Ohana or Daybreak or anything else.
Yeah.
And with that, you know, you're going to see very interesting builds coming out from Violet, and that's where he's going to shine the most, when it's his game. Now, the whole goal of Sortof is to take his 3 base pretty much unopposed. But if he can take his 3 base, play his style of game, that's where he's going to shine the most. But it's when Violet is the one that's, you know, really predicting where the game is going to go, that's where things just go horribly wrong at that end game stage.
Really fortunate for Violet to be able to step in here and see exactly what Sortof's doing.
Yes.
Sortof, again, playing standard, straight and true to his practiced form, but Violet going, oh, all right, I'm going to go hatch, gas, pool. It's a little tricky if my opponent does somewhere between a 6 and a 10 pool, but other than that, it's very straightforward, and we've seen Violet kind of leap to an early lead again and again and again. Still no gas coming out of Sortof. He's just now taking it.
That's right, and I really favor Violet's build so much more. I mean, as I said, you're having your cake and you're eating it too. You're able to get that metabolic boost out so fast, which gives you the speed, it gives you map control. Also, you have more larva than your opponent. When you have more larva, obviously more stuff, more income, more units, whatever you want to have. Violet's in a great position over here, as he will get double queens pretty soon as that spawning pool finishes. But I just love early speed in any ZVZ.
Oh yeah, I mean, the earlier your speed is, the more defensive your opponent has to be. We see this cute little 2-lane push-up by Sortof, where he's going to try to kill off at least a non-zero amount of stuff. But, I mean, we will end up seeing the speed and Baneling Nest be behind yet again from Sortof, which encourages him generally to build the Spine Crawler, which Violet exploits by getting slightly earlier layers and these sorts of things. I mean, Violet just knows how to play to his advantage every time.
That's right. All right, Zergling on Zergling.
My vote's on blue.
And now the chase.
Well, looks like a non-zero amount of stuff did once again happen. But I'm feeling very good for Violet in this position. He hasn't yet built any Baneling Nest. He might go for the 530 layer.
Definitely so. He did take off a drone from Gas, so he has a lot of options right now. I think he's just reserving himself the ability to do whatever he wants based on what he sees from his opponent. The scout did go on. Let me go ahead and check Violet's cam real quick. He didn't see the Baneling Nest coming up, so he still has to scout out his opponent in a little bit. He will probably do that once 6 minutes pushes out. You can see this is generally when you want to get a lot of Zerglings, because Metabolic Boost could potentially finish for your opponent. I don't know if he actually scouted to see if his opponent was capable of something like that.
Oh, layer coming up earlier for Sortof. Zergling speed now bolting down to the bottom side, and how pressured do you feel as Sortof in this situation? Do you feel like you need to get up a Spine Crawler? It's only one Baneling getting morphed. Oh, no. Oh, no. Is he actually going to get it? And he does. Oh, my God.
Sean, this is so bad.
A simple little attack from Violet catches sort of completely off guard.
Wow.
And per usual, Violet's going to go straight for the drone line.
Yeah, and what does Violet do off of this? He's just teching the lair. This is not supposed to do a lot of damage. This wasn't supposed to do any damage. It was just to feel your opponent out. Exercise that early speed, force Banelings out if possible to delay, potential lair tech, potential even roaches if you're going to see a one base all in. But, getting that much damage done, the full scout, everything was perfect for Violet, and he can make the absolute best decisions early on in this game.
And now we're seeing Sortof again make the proclamation, I trust my style.
Yes.
I practiced it in and out. I went 3-0 against Hyun with this style. He's knocking down his rocks to prepare himself for this Infestor Roach play, and I am thrilled, absolutely smitten that we are seeing this Mutalisk versus Roach play. Where on earth is that Spire? I see it on the production tab.
I'm checking the map to see if it's like proxied
I
somewhere.
found
there it is.
It's in one of the most obvious places to build it.
The blue. It's
There's the speed coming up. Violet continuing to try to engage. Couple more Banelings of his own. And I like this pressure. It's continuing to keep Violet honest.
Yeah, a couple trades over here. Will Violet get ahead? Oh, wow. Again, picking off some Banelings. This is so risky, in my opinion. But he's really playing and rolling the dice a little bit. He doesn't know when those Banelings will finish. And look at that. His Audacity is going to give him the advantage over here. The third base most likely will be canceled yet again, but Roaches are on the way out, but this is just too many Zerglings. The hatchery is forced to cancel. Roaches make it over here, but again, after again, after again, Violet has been punishing this defense. The way you defend your third base with Roaches, it's a lot slower, it's a lot stale, it's a lot more stale, and it has a lot of flaws in it.
Well, after some intense micro bouts, we finally see that over in Camp Violet, he's starting to rack up the Mutalisks. The defense is slowly starting to fall apart. Again, Violet is just getting every edge possible. He might be able to close this out with 4 straight wins. Now everything is all back onto Sortof. He's going to have to build extra spores. He doesn't have a third hatch.
Now, what's nice is that Infestors are on the way out, but it's still very difficult to deal with the Mutas. Just them being out on the map is a big problem. And there are potential timings where, you go take your third base, you think you're fine because you have your Infestors out, but no, you send the Mutas forward, and Roaches are all behind that. And these Infestors that you're banking on defending everything, really, you don't have the capacity to do that because you have such a limited amounts of Infestors off of only 2 base, off of only 4 gas. It's really not enough to handle some sort of huge all-in, especially when Mutas are putting so much pressure on those Infestors since they can fly directly over them.
I mean, what do you do now, Andre? You don't have any creep spreads, so you can't get Spore Crawlers over to this third base. You don't have a Hydralisk Den. I mean, I've seen Life go straight for the Hydras and try to keep the hope alive with those and also to conserve Infestor energy, or do you rely purely on the Infestors for the defense?
I mean, yeah, you have to drop creep. I think that's really the only way. Drop creep with your Overlords and then try to build Spore Crawlers over there. But this is really indefensible in my opinion.
Wow, right now Violet up to 6 gas geysers, sort of desperately trying to get geyser number 5 up, but I mean, Violet is not going to allow that to happen anytime soon.
Yep. And I love what we're seeing, just sharking around, saying, hey, I have Mutas out in the field. You better be careful. At any time, you could just split them up, go directly on top of those Infestors, waste all of that energy. And you can see Glue Reconstitution. Not only that, Infestors on the way for Violet. He has a much better economy than his opponent, and he can definitely exercise that to deny the third base.
And the one lead that Sortof still has is this +2 attack timing, but that does unfortunately mean that he's going to have to make use of that in some way. He has a window where he'll be at +2 and his opponent will still be at just good old +0, and he can do a big pack of damage, but this is why Mutalisks are so effective. You can get up an earlier 4th base, generally not way ahead in the 3rd, but Violet now has both of those, so he's in excellent shape. Once again, we see the infamous sort of Hydralisk Den, his trademark unit, transitioning to that so early. It is very clear that he's going to be going for a 3-base timing push.
Especially on a map like Entombed Valley, it's so hard to substantiate some sort of claim that, hey, I can go and attack off of 3 bases. If you're in Sortof's position. Now he's going ahead, taking a 4th base. He's trying to shark around, just trying to get this up, but of course it's going to get denied by these mutas. Maybe, yes,
get out of there, Violet. And he wants to continue to engage, and look at these excellent pressure plays from Violet. Sacking a few lings, not a big deal.
Zergling's just making sure those infestors are zoned out, saying, do not pass this line. I'm going to kill your 4th base. I will have the economic advantage. And Violet just pulling ahead slowly and slowly. This is beautiful play. He's not even, yes, he's being very aggressive, but it's aggressive economically. He's doing these slight little things to get him a little bit farther ahead each time. And now he's 4 base against, pretty much 3 base. He's going up to 8 gases very soon. And what is he going to do with that?
Well, I mean, right now, he has pretty much free reign to do whatever he wants. Generally, the play is to out-infester your opponent. Already, we're seeing Sortof stock up his Hydralisks. I'm very surprised to see him take this 4th base to really try to stretch it to that long term, but this is what makes Sortof excellent. Yeah. He trusts in his late-game play, trusts in the power of his end-game composition, is yet again ahead in the Hydralisk count. Thrilled to see him upgrading that +1 Carapace, as again, he needs to maintain some sort of big lead, and armor is a great way to do it.
Yeah, Sean, I'm really happy to see just the perseverance of Sortof's style. We've seen him not do terribly well throughout this series with his initial opening, but he's saying, okay, I'm just going to play how I always practice. I'm going to play the way I want to play. He has what he needs, and he's just going to play slightly from behind, but at least he's comfortable with it.
Yeah.
He needs to just relax a little bit and say, get in my element, and then I'll be able to potentially win this. Now he is behind in gas. Ooh, a little bit of a attack going into the natural.
Well, looks like he's managed to pick off a couple of drones. Violet just trying to maintain that gas lead.
Now, there is a point where these mutas will be pretty insignificant. He wants to trade those out. When do you actually trade those out?
I mean, honestly, having them in this battle ends up being pretty much okay, because I mean at this point it's really not a considerable amount of food, and if you're really worried about that max game army engagement, you can just run up while this fight is going on and take them out. But any opportunity you see to trade them, even at a pretty heavy loss, to kill off infestors, that's the big target.
Gotcha. Definitely something to keep in mind, but we're in a position where Sortof doesn't really have a great attack plan. Like, he doesn't know where to attack. Not only that, he doesn't have a good place to attack. Entombed Valley is a difficult place to attack just because whenever you're attacking into it, there is potential that your opponent has just a much superior arc. Just like a lot of different.
Goodness. Every army edge goes to Sortof now. It's all going to come down to these fungals, and they are tremendous from Sortof. He needs to continue to unleash the infestor energy to shove Violet back, because the supply right now for Sortof is plummeting. But we do see that it is a lead in upgrades.
Yep.
It's 0-1 versus 1-2. Sortof needs to keep drilling forward, but Violet's production is so huge. 41 roaches in production for Violet.
Jeez, and once that kicks into gear, I don't think he can really keep going from there. Greater Spire has started as well, so he's ready to tech into Hive. On top of that, just having that Hive allows him to tech up his upgrades, so he can gain that slow, gradual advantage, knowing that he has the 7th and the 8th gas over his opponent. That's so substantial. Not only that, the 9th and 10th are very accessible as well, so we're most likely going to see that. I love the spine crawlers all over the place, just making sure he is okay against any potential run-bys, etc.
Yeah. You know, in my eyes, the +3 attack upgrade is actually the most important upgrade for Hive, even more so important than Broodlords, because Broodlords don't have the game-ending quality that you feel in Zerg vs. Terran or Zerg vs. Protoss, just due to the fact that the Broodlings don't really do quite as much. Roaches are so nimble and take so much damage that they can pick those off and run right on through the attack lines. And it looks like that in attack round 2, Sortof is yet again banking.
Oh, nice job.
A huge pack of units.
And here we go yet again. Great concave with the spine crawlers this time. Is it going to be enough? Infested Terrans being popped out for Sortof, not for Violet. So this could go very, very well as the spine crawlers are attacking the Infested Terrans first. But great fungal growths from behind are going to keep a lot of Violet's units intact. 184 supply to 173. You can see 29 Roaches in production for Violet and 3 Broodlords. Now you have to be careful. There is such thing as too many Broodlords in DBZ.
Yes, specifically the Infestors are excellent at taking down Broodlords. You can easily hurl a bunch of infested Terrans directly underneath them. A single fungal pins them while they get ripped to shreds. But just a few means that Violet suddenly is going to go from defense to offense in a hurry.
It gives them the ability to say, okay, I can attack, and you still have to attack into me. Therefore, I can place my units in a great position, get the better concave, and from there, I can obviously do more damage against you. I love this. Just small little trades. Remember, he has the ability to trade out these roaches for, let's say, infestors. That could be 5 infestors over for Violet. So he's more than happy to oblige to those tiny little trades. If he does a little bit of damage, great.
And Violet even used it to say, okay, I'm going to slice at the right side and see where your army is. Now he moves out to the center of the map. Violet, only thing that he could be doing better right now is taking these gas geysers. Other than that, just flawless defense. He's lining this attack up very nicely with the +3 missile attacks. For the first time, he is going to be quite a ways ahead in the upgrade count compared to his opponent.
Now, if he wins this battle, he will have a lot of momentum. If you look at the units lost tab, they're actually very, very equal, so you can see how well Sortof has been doing. But this is going to be very difficult. Nice fungal growth on top of a lot of the roaches. And you can see Sortof not prepared for this. Infested Terrans being spewed out. Will it be enough, though? Day9.
Dude, the roach count from Violet is tremendous. He is winning on the ground in strides, sort of desperately trying to throw down more and more infested Terran eggs, but his own infestors get nabbed by a big fungal, and we're seeing Sortof make some headway, but 30 more roaches are on the way for Violet. The Broodlords have fallen. Sortof is retreating. He's losing his infestors, but it's a big line of blue coming out of Violet's base.
So much momentum coming out from that last attack. On top of that, don't forget the upgrade advantage going in for Violet. He has that +3 attack, as you were talking about, to only the +2 attack from Sortof. So that's definitely substantial. Any trades at this point is going to be fantastic for Violet.
He's going for the Roach Warren. That's going to make it very difficult to build roaches. Violet now sweeping in, picking off Queens, instantly going for the expansion where there's some vulnerable Hydralisks and small numbers. Hydralisks get owned by roaches. And over at the left, we're seeing, again, more burrow obnoxiousness while 7 more Broodlords get made.
7 more Broodlords. It's not normal that you see something like that, especially in a map like Entombed Valley where it's all spread out. But it's at a point where Sortof just doesn't have the capacity. Now losing some infestors. Wow, so unfortunate. And it's just adding more insult to injury. Sortof just being taken out all over the place. Violet outplaying him very handily over here in game number 5.
Violet looks so strong in every matchup. It's amazing to think that he just played 1 game against Sortof, saw him play 1 best-of-3, and then adapted his style to be the opposite of what we normally see out of Violet. We got to see this very passive player out of Violet. And I mean, even more interestingly, we got to see Violet play passively in a way that baited Sortof into making these overly aggressive pushes. Again, forcing Sortof to do things that are outside of his comfort zone.
And you know, Day9, I do want to say one thing. We might be getting to a point where there's too many Broodlords out in the field. 11 Broodlords, that's a lot of supply. 44 supply. Think what you can do with that. You can get 22 infestors, 22 roaches, and if Sortof notices this, he could potentially play the counterattacking game, although it's hard for him to do so. He's not even max, so maybe it's just Violet is so far ahead that he just wants to say, okay, get out of my game.
I mean, I can't agree with you enough, Andre. I mean, having too many Broodlords falls very quickly. 11 infestors out on the field. Violet does have a pretty high energy count. Sortof has a lot of infested Terrans about to lob, and there it is. And these Broodlords are in a terrible position. The concave edge goes huge favor to Sortof.
And look at those upgrades. They're 0-0. Don't forget the melee attack really isn't upgraded at all, but there's just too much stuff. Sortof was not maxed out in that last attack, and the Broodlords are still going to be able to do a lot of damage. GG.
Your second finalist, the last game of the day. Violet advances. He will be in the grand finals against Liquid Hero in a PVZ that I will not want to miss, and you won't want to miss.
Definitely not. And 3rd and 4th place will be going to either Pult or Sortof. I can't wait to see that TVZ as well tomorrow.
I mean, what an absolutely phenomenal answer from Violet. Completely adapting his play, using different builds again and again, but adjusting how he normally does them to specifically go up to face Sortof. Passive Mutalisk play on Whirlwind, unheard of, but Violet correctly chose that and waited for Sortof to make a mistake.
That's right. And you know, a lot of times off the 2 base, you will go up to, you know, around 44, anywhere from 44 to 52 drones. A lot of people like to go to 52 drones just to get that maximum economy from those extra 8 drones or 4 drones for each expansion. But when it comes down to it, we didn't see that at all. He stopped around 45 drones and said, all Zerglings, just go mass units right now, deny my opponent's third, and then I just maintain an advantage.
Guys, it has been a pleasure casting these 2 semifinal matches. Let's go ahead and throw it on over to an interview with our winner. See you over at Zoe.
Thank you very much, guys. I now have our winner of this very last season here sitting next to me. So once more, give it up. Big round of applause for Violet, who just, he's on it. And of course, Chance is there to support him once more. Yeah, he has something to say for sure. But
Got it.
no, you got it?
Yeah.
What was it?
She just want to sleep.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. It's been a long day for all of us. And still, you pulled out such a, well, I wouldn't say comeback as it only was 1-0 at the beginning, but you just won all those games in a row. It seemed like you actually figured out what Sortof is doing after watching 3 of his games and then losing one against him. What do you think you made so different?
First game against Sortof, I played really long time ago, so I kind of don't remember what his style. But I just watched it versus Hyun game, and that game is he played really good. So first game, I trying to figure out what his style, and yeah, first game I kind of like scout about him, and after that, I got it, and then I'm trying to like kind of counter, and yeah, and next year is working, I think, yeah.
It did work, obviously, like 4 times in a row. So what do you think you actually countered that with? As the Hydra play of him is not very common, I would say. Like, there is not too many players out there who actually use the Hydras such as he did. And he just seemed to get, like, the best concave on his opponents all the time. You kind of managed to, like, put him into situations where he couldn't get that concave. Do you think it was actually about the positioning, or do you think it was actually it actually had something to do with your composition?
His style is like trying to starting strategy is like safety. After that, like kind of like he's kind of fighter like a boss. And when he fight, he like million infested Terran. That means like he really wanna win this fight. But I trying to use a fungal more for him because infested Terran get nerfed. So it's like 2 fungal infested Terran is just easy die. Yeah, that's why I won, and he's just trying to keep using infested Terran. I try to give more fungal, and he kind of safety style in earlier game. So I trying to more greedy build. Like every game, I try to like 15 hatchery, like 17 gas. Yeah, I just never thinking he will all into me. So that's the counter.
Well, didn't work out. So once more, congratulations to you. And so if we make a scale, right? On how excited you are now? How excited are you to actually win the finals?
Yeah! That exciting.
Hell yes! And I think everyone is just such as excited as you are. And everyone is still awake as well. So we are looking forward to those games. You guys get some rest. Thanks a lot for joining me for the interview. And we headed over to you guys out there.
Thank you so much, Zoe, for that awesome interview with Violet. We can't wait to look forward to him in the finals tomorrow against Hero.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. You guys, now you can hear me. It's going to be amazing. Absolutely fantastic day today, guys. We got all the way through our semifinals. Tomorrow, we start giving away some money. First place, $30,000. Second place, $15,000. Sortof's not done yet. He'll play against Polt in the 3rd place match. The winner of that one takes home $10,000. And our 4th place participant with a $5,000 check. We also have a couple show matches tomorrow, Andre.
Those are giving away some money, too. We got a free-for-all with all of the players that aren't going to be playing tomorrow in the NASL Grand Finals. We're going to have a Heart of the Storm free-for-all.
That's right.
And $500 to the winner. And I heard that we have some awesome participants.
We sure do. A lot of our players that played here today will be participating in the Heart of the Swarm free-for-all.
else, Ben?
But more important than that,
Who else, Ben?
Gretorp
Oh, wow.
and Rotterdam will be playing. Gretorp and Rotterdam are going to be in the booths right behind us.
Yes.
Kind of redonning the pro gamer mantle.
And is Sean playing?
I think Sean might be casting.
Oh, okay.
He might be casting. He might be playing. We'll find out tomorrow.
We'll see.
Let's take a little bit of a look at our final bracket so we can sort of recap our day. We had some fantastic games.
Yes,
Polt
sir.
started out strong with the 3-1 victory over Golden.
But Golden definitely did produce some really, really exciting games. Then we moved over to Hero versus Tasia. My goodness, I felt so bad for both these players. It's a bittersweet thing when you have to defeat your own teammate.
Hero's play has just been phenomenal. I'm gonna start calling him the Christmas toss or the holiday toss because he does not lose in December. Two-time DreamHack winner champion, and here he is making a fantastic run through the North American Star League Season 4 finals.
And probably one of the most exciting TVZ series I've ever witnessed before to date. Violet versus DeMuslim went to a 5th game, and it was probably one of the best ones I've ever seen before.
Man, how heartbreaking was it for DeMuslim?
Oh,
He
my
played
goodness.
5 phenomenal games. It was just barely not enough.
That Ohana game, definitely one of those games I have to go back and watch and replay. Absolutely fantastic play. And last but not least, we have Sortof versus Hyun, the dark horse of the tournament.
Mm-hmm. And Hyun, GSL runner-up, was just crushed by sort of kind of unorthodox, Hydralisk-centric ZVZ playstyle.
Definitely so. Moving on, we went to the semifinals where we had Polt match up against Hero in an exciting series yet again. Man, Hero's PvT is just insanely good.
It is rock solid, and we did just see Violet taking out sort of in our final best of 7 of the evening. Violet moves on to the grand final where he will face Hero. It's been a very exciting day, guys. So much fun was had by all.
Don't forget, we also have the Ret versus White Rush show match, $1,500 on the line. Did you mention that?
Well, you just mentioned it
there
for
we
me.
go.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Maybe we were supposed to announce it and we didn't. But yes, Ret versus White Rock's starting off our day tomorrow.
Yeah.
That'll
Come on, guys. Red versus White Rock.
That'll be more Heart of the Swarm action. We're going to be giving away more Heart of the Swarm beta keys. We're going to be showing some great Heart of the Swarm gameplay. And, of course, we're going to be wrapping up the 4th season of the North American Star League. It has been a blast. Before we say goodbye, we do have to give our final thank yous to our fantastic sponsors here at the North American Star League: LA Byte, Epson, Azo, Kingston HyperX, iBuyPower, Cooler Master, and of course our great partners Twitch TV, GameSpot, and Blizzard Entertainment. We're gonna throw it back to Zoe, Rotterdam, and Clutch for our final words on the day. Guys, you have been great.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. You have been doing a great job today as well. The casts have been absolutely amazing of all of you guys. So give it up for our casters, please. That wasn't personally loud enough for my taste, so let's try that just again. Give it up for our casters out there, please. Exactly. And I want to hear the same thing for Clutch as well. Oh, come on. Clutch and Lauren, they did amazing as well. So please, round of applause for them too. Let's wrap the day up. Let's talk about all the awesomeness we saw. And there was plenty of that, to say the least. What were your favorite moments? Which games struck you as the most awesome today? Was there any upsets you were really like to mention now?
That last series between Violet and Sortof, the crowd was so enthusiastic about Violet beforehand, but then it sort of flipped, and they started to get louder and louder for Sortof. I feel that even though Sortof is not going to make it to the finals, this is a tournament that he really shined. And just as Sting did with IEM for Western Wolves, Sortof is now going to represent Western Wolves, I think, in 2013, even more so. And I'm so excited for him and for any players that are not very well known but are able to perform in such an incredible way that they will be a namesake. They will have their place in the world of esports now.
You put that so well. So, Kevin, what was your best moment this tournament so far?
Several good moments. I definitely, as Ben and Andre mentioned as well, I think the Muslim versus Violet series, yeah, was absolutely amazing. That game on Ohana just blew my mind. I really loved the fighting spirit that the Muslim showed. His comeback in the game was phenomenal. I think game 1, Hero versus Tasia, was absolutely insane as well. Tasia showed some excellent decision making. In the end, Hero just barely hung in there throughout that entire series. Like, I personally really love PvT. Together with PvP, probably my favorite matchup to cast. And I really enjoyed the series. Despite it finishing 3-0, I love the decision making that Hero has showed. So that was obviously a highlight, and I really think it's absolutely fantastic that a European Zerg player is able to defeat a GSL Code as the runner-up 3-0 in the quarterfinals. I mean, hats off, that's an amazing performance by Sortof.
It really was. In general, if we look at the scores, some of them might look very obvious and very like convincing and one-sided, but the games could almost all have gone either way. There were so many really close ones where it was really just like this little edge for one of those players, and that made it just so amazing to watch. And like, for example, the Hero Polt one. Yeah, sure, Hero had a few more points in the end, but still, there were like some really sick ones. I mean, Abyssal City, the pickups they did, like the Colossi pickup, that was insane. And also, of course, the pickup Paul did. So I was just like so amazed by how all those players performed. So please, guys out there, give it up once more for the players who played today and showed us this awesome bunch of series.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Zoe. I mean, I almost forgot about those Colossus picks up. We were like watching here backstage, and I think everyone, whether it was staff or casters or crew, was like, "Oh my God, Hero, you're not actually doing this." He had so few units to work with, and he still just did everything right. I always had enough units in the right spot. That was absolutely amazing. And there was one more thing I want to say, but Hero's moves were just awesome, so I almost forgot about it. What was that again? What did I want to say? I know it was really smart. Like, oh, damn it.
Okay, let's just pretend he made a really witty, smart comment. Wow, Kevin!
Nice job.
That was so insightful.
Thank you.
We loved it. So, then I would like to give the last few words to you, Clutch, as you always do that so well.
You did such a great job back here in your corner. It feels so homey back here. Chance falls asleep so easily. I mean, it's been great so far. We would like to thank the crowd. You guys are fantastic. Day 1 now is complete. We continue day 2, starting with Heart of the Swarm. Doors open at 11. The stream goes live at 12. We'll see you then. Until then, good night and good game.